The Beat Break Morning Show can be heard everywhere from your cell phone to your laptop. Listen to the Beat Break Morning Show on BeatBreakRadioFM.com, on any mobile device, and on HomeTeamRadio.com. Download the Home Team Radio app to your smartphone to listen to the show. Watch the Beat Break Morning Show weekdays and weekends on Georgia State Television and GSTVOnline.org. Check local listings for dates and times.
It's peanut butter jelly time.
It's that time of year. Bring in your W-2s to P&J Tax Professionals, LLC, and get the refund you deserve. We offer the best service in town to prepare your personal and business tax returns. Need your cash in a hurry? Try out our direct deposit check system. And we can't forget to mention our new Audit Guard feature. Upload your W-2s from your PC with our fully automated Secure File Pro service from anywhere in the world. Refer a friend to P&J Tax Professionals and get a $10 Visa gift card via email. Don't let your money grow on trees. Let P&J Tax Professionals prepare your return. For more information or to set up an appointment, call the offices of P&J Tax Professionals at 1-866-220-2491. Visit us at our website at pjtax.net. P&J Tax Professionals, where customer service is first.
Get your tax refund today with P&J Tax Professionals. Be sure to call them today at 1-866-220-2491.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? This your local neighborhood DJ, DJ 360, back at it once again for a week of the truth. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all don't understand what I just said, I said a week of the truth. That means this week we're going to be telling the truth and uncovering hip-hop history. You know what I'm saying? So we going to dig back into the early 80s, late 70s, mid to late 70s to early 80s, all the way up to 2014 this week with one of the most important interviews that I've ever done in my life. You know what I'm saying? We've had an opportunity to sit down and talk to legendary MCs like the Fearless Four, Kool Moe Dee, Peter Gunz, also one of the most important or one of the most relevant, one of the most popular reality show stars right now, Peter Gunz. And we've also had an opportunity to sit down with Ishi from Arrested Development. You know what I'm saying? We've sat down with African-American professionals like Miss Jacqueline Floyd and Eric Helm, education and real estate, respectively. We've sat down with West Coast artists like MCJB representing JJ Fad out there in LA, or Court Knox representing the Bay Area. Also, we've had, interviews coming with Jose Santana and Big Rich representing the Bay Area. We've talked to Tracy Lee from Philadelphia representing that hip hop and also education and also the lawyer side and the official side of getting a degree and being able to practice what your degree is in. He's a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So hip hop is not just about the music. But this week we're talking about the first. You know what I mean? And after the break, we're going to get into it. It's your boy, your local neighborhood DJ. You don't want to miss this one. Once again, we do have the legendary Van Silk on the line who's going to be with us. But after the break, come back and check out who our special guest is this week. What's up, Van? It's all good, man. I appreciate what you're doing, man. Long live hip-hop, man. The new hip-hop culture. You know what I'm saying? And we going to go dig it up. We going to get the facts and the truth. You know what I'm saying? This is a 360 mix show. DJ 360, you in the 360 neighborhood. We in the 360 mix show. Doing it once again on BeatBreakRadioFM.com. Come right back after the break, and we going to get it in. 360.
If you're ready for this,
say you're ready for this.
If you're ready for this,
say you're ready for this.
Are you ready for this? We're ready for this. Are you ready for this? We're ready for this. Where we just can't miss.
We just can't miss.
Where we just can't miss.
With a beat like this.
It's the joint. We're gonna prove to the world that we're for real. We're gonna prove to everybody we know the real deal. We got golden voices and hearts to steal. Because the 5 MCs, they got to be real. We wanna hear the that's the joint. Because Deuteronomy C is the melody.
And Keith help me rock, we sing in harmony. Because Jeff is the rhythm
And K is the bass.
Sha Rock, shocking the whole darn place.
And now here's a little story you got to be told. The party people in the place
got a whole lot of soul.
So when we're on the mic, y'all shocking the house.
and when we all get together, we can turn it out. Now we're in the house, as you can plainly see. Everybody say, get funky, and make money, and you don't stop. Give it to us now. Funk it up. Get funky.
Beat Break Radio FM, Atlanta's new underground station. Online 24/7 at beatbreakradiofm.com.
All right, y'all, we back. The 360 Mix Show, we in full effect. BeatBreakRadioFM.com. It's your boy, your local neighborhood DJ. You in the 360 neighborhood right about now. And once again, this week, I got my mentor, my big homie, Van Silk. What's up, man?
Yes, sir. We got the first lady, the first MC of hip-hop on the phone today. I ain't going to say her name.
Man.
I'm going to let people... I'm co-signing to let you know she is the first and everything when it comes to the females of hip-hop. I'm not even going to say her name. I'm going to let you say it. That ain't my job.
Wow. Hey, look, for those that are listening right now, we got Van Silk, who was there. And he said that this artist, this MC, this legend that we got on the line was the first. So if anybody wants to dispute that, come see us about it at the 360 Mix Show. But right about now on the line, we got the legendary MC, the very first female MC on the history of hip-hop on this planet. And if there's hip-hop on another planet, she was the first there, too. This is MC Sha Rock on the 360 Mix Show. MC Sha Rock, what's happening?
I'm here. You know what? That was a good intro. It couldn't have got no better. You know, for your audience that don't know who MC Sha Rock is, I am the mother of the mic, the first female MC of the hip hop culture, and also known as the Luminary Icon.
The Luminary.
Of hip-hop.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And everybody who's listening right now, whatever city you in across the country, all my folks out there in Japan and Pakistan who've been hitting me up talking about this going down. Look, for everybody that's listening right now, it's about to be a history lesson. So take out your notepads and any rumors or any information that you know is incorrect. I need you to cross it out and write these new notes down because it's going down right about now on the 360 Mix Show. So for all of those that don't remember or they need to get up on Sha Rock, tell them a little bit about what your importance is right quick. What is your importance in the history of hip hop?
The main thing that I want, people to understand, is that my career began in 1976 as a B-girl in hip-hop culture. In 1977, I became the first female MC of the hip-hop culture and also the first female MC to join an all-male group, and that was the Funky Four. I'm the original member of the Funky Four. Later on, we'll get into it, but later on I became the plus one more, but I'm an original member of the Funky Four. And to also let you know, first female MC on national TV, first female MC to have a record deal. And now, when we talk about, I know there has been a lot of, misconception, out there, and a lot of your audience may have read over the years, maybe, 10, 15, 20 years of somebody else being the first female, MC.
Right.
And my thing is that, we're going to get into it, but I just want, people to know that don't believe the hype. I am the first female MC of the hip hop culture, and my career did not begin in 1979 when we went into record format. Of course, I made a record in 1979, but my career began way before that. I was an MC, a B-girl on the streets of New York City, playing in the parks. You understand what I'm saying? Playing, at school jams, just representing the hip-hop culture to its fullest back then.
That's right.
And, of course, there were other females that came behind me, but Sha Rock is the first female MC of the hip-hop culture. I have it documented on film, and, we'll get into about the flyer things and all of that stuff, but, I am the first female MC of the hip-hop culture.
And that's and Van Silk, I know you could put your stamp of approval on that.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to say this, and I can say it. When you mention Kool Herc, think of Sha Rock. When you mention Bambaataa, think of Sha Rock. When you think of Grandmaster Flash, think of Sha Rock. When you think of a Melly Mel or any legendary pioneers who's being honored, you got to think of Sha Rock because she ran with the boys. And
right, all of them.
Verify all the classic original flyers as an MC, there was only one female on all the shows until she incorporated her friends afterwards, Sha Rock. That's all I got to say right now. I'm going to jump in, but this is my girl right here, an original MC, not nobody who thought of it. She was down with the boys, and she was the only one running with all the boys in the Bronx.
Wow. Yeah. And since you mentioned the Bronx, of course, you know, everybody in the nation, everybody in the world, we understand that the Bronx is the birthplace of this hip hop culture, and it's also the birthplace of the first female hip hop MC, that's our focus for today. We're going to, make sure everybody understands that there's a whole history of female rappers. We can go from today. We got, the Nicki Minaj's. We go back a little further. We have the Missy Elliott's and the MC Lights, the Queen Latifah's. We got the Rashidas from down south. And we got all the Mia X's going back toward the west. We got MC JB and JJ Fad. And we can list all of these female MCs. Salt and Pepper. Shout out to Nikki D and Oaktown's 357. All of them. I think they have to, if there was a situation where there was a panel of hip-hop MCs that are females, they would all have to give the crown to MC Sha Rock because she was the first and she paved the way and she blazed that trail and opened the doors. And in a sense, I look at you like the female Martin Luther King type of vision, to where
really?
It was like,
that's an honor.
You know why? Because I say that because Dr. King, although he's not alive at this point, he put his life on the line so that we today can have the fruits of our freedom. We got a black president now. You know what I'm saying? We have female MCs right now because you laid down with, like, similar to what he was doing. You sacrificed. You went through the disputes and all of the, what could be considered negativity and push through and persevere so that there is something called a female MC of today. So how do you feel when you hear, all the good things that female MCs have done over the years? Like, how do you feel about that and your position in that, and how comfortable are you in your skin saying, you know what, I look in the mirror, I was number one, and I'll let them have it. I may not have a Grammy, I may not have a Soul Train or a BET Music Award or whatever the case is, but I am the first. Like, what do you think of when you hear these female MCs today? Or
you know what, I respect a lot of female MCs out there. From the Latifahs to the Lights, to the Lauryn Hills, to the Nicki Minaj's, to the Nicki D's, to all the underground females that's out there now trying to represent the rap aspect of hip-hop. But let me also say that, when you look at it, I am the one, to help lay the foundation. Of course, there were other females, that came behind me, such as Lisa Lee, Queen Lisa Lee from African Bambaataa, and also Peppy Pooh. You had your Debbie D's, you had your Missy D's. You had, a lot of other females that came behind me. But Sha Rock was instrumental in helping to make and lay the foundation for the culture. Because what I actually did was had everybody change their game. Being a part of the Funky Four, I had everybody change their game. Everybody scrambled, to get females, to represent them. But I was still number one, in New York, and still holding the culture down. It's not that, not to take anything from nobody, but I did have the following. And let's go back to, how do I feel? Yes, I may not have the Grammy. I may not, have gotten to, VH1 awards or honors or BET honors. And what the females today may have, my thing, what I feel is that, yes, they do have it harder. They do have it harder to be able to prove that they are, good MCs. But what I got that the others may not have is the knowledge, is the jewels, is living the inception of hip-hop. And to me, that's better than a Grammy. That's better than being honored, because you know what? You're talking about almost a decade of the groundbreaking era of hip hop, that I knew that a lot of women today would only just want to experience if they are true to the culture and they love the culture, not just the rapping aspect part of it. So for me, I have a lot, and I'm grateful, and that is the knowledge, the jewels, that God has allowed me to see it how it is now, and where I am now, and where hip hop is, a rap within hip hop, and to see other females, doing it. So I'm comfortable. My thing is that, I don't live above my means, but my means is relevant to the hip hop culture.
Right.
So I'm grateful that I have the knowledge and endure. So I'm content.
Wow.
I'm content. But I'm still going to tell my history because you know what? Because I haven't been talking about it because, I talked to you earlier.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I thought over the years people knew. It's not like the information is not out there because you have, so many different people from all aspects of the industry, from bloggers to writers to film producers to people who are writing books. And they're writing books off of my name and the Funky Four, making money. But when it's come time for you to do the right thing and acknowledge the fact in full, you understand what I'm saying, to the masses,
right.
They step back, and I don't get that. Because you're making money, off of me anyway by at least including me in the story, so why don't you do the right thing? You know the story. So I don't you know the story.
Right. So the
you're
right
writing about it.
The right thing to do would be to reach out to you and get the authentic, script.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and that's why I don't get it because they do these movies, they do the and don't get me wrong. I am grateful that they have had an outlet to just say Sha Rock was there and she was first. Well, they haven't said that yet. What they did was just include me in it. But I'm telling you my story. You know what I'm saying? But they don't come to me. But, radio stations, people like yourself, I appreciate it because you do. But when you talk about film and you talk about whatever and people doing the documentary, they don't come to me and ask me my story. They let somebody else tell my story. But you can't tell my story better than me because that means that you're leaving out something.
Right.
You're leaving out the most important thing, and that is I am the first female to set it off for every female that came behind me. Bottom line.
Well, let me jump in real quick. I want to say this. I want to apologize. And I'm going to take the blame. And
For what?
No, let me say what I'm going to say. And every pioneer, every guy that's been around before records should take the blame. Now, I always mention you in any interview I've done, but there's a lot of MCs that came along in the era of constructing this culture who only think about themselves instead of saying, we had one of the first female rappers that should be glorified no matter when you open your mouth about the culture. And it's also, I look at it as a male egotistic thing because it was like you went from Sha Rock, she was the first, and you jumped to Salt and Pepper. Well, you had Sha Rock and you had the girl she's mentioned. Previous, you had a girl named Miss Spinderella who used to do the Riverboat with Hollywood. You had the Mercedes Ladies and Queens that came afterwards. You had, Sha Rock, when she did Beach Street with Us Girls, she had to go and be Us Girls in order to be in Beach Street with Debbie D and Lisa Lee. Then you had Wanda D, the first female DJ. So, I say a lot of the MCs, and they know who they are, never stood up for her. In any interview they did, they wanted to be on their own stick instead of saying, but Sha, you're supposed to say this girl name. This is the way you want to preach her as the godfather of hip-hop, which I still to this day say doesn't run well with me because there's many godfathers. This woman right here should have never been not mentioned in nobody's interview when you talk about the history of true hip-hop. And I want to apologize again for not even doing more to the queen that's still alive, because it was so sad when Sylvia Robinson died, who was the first woman to go and put out records, and when she died 2 years ago, you barely could see the mention of her in any articles, no matter how people feel about her.
You're right.
Music, and when Miss Melody died, it's like, okay, but what did these other people that would die now contribute without the contribution of those who pioneered this? It's like Sha Rock's running around here acting like she's mad because I went on her website and listened to the interview she did with Oak Town 357 and Sparky D and all these other people that followed her. Mm-hmm. They felt like they met Barack Obama, or even if they, matter of fact, they didn't meet Barack Obama. Talking to her was like talking to George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. She freed the slaves.
Right.
Wow. Now that's deep. That's deep. But let me say something to what you were saying. In reference to Herc, and I know your feelings about that. But I have to give some props. For enlightened me on the music, you know, and becoming, you know, well, I had started B-girling with some of my friends, some of the guys that I know that were called Keith and Kevin, you know, and I don't like to say this word, but back in the days they were called the nigger twins because they were two twins, but they were also badass breakdancers. You know what I'm saying? Or B-boys, that's what I should say. And they used to roll with her. And so they put me under their wing as well. And so I used to go to, you know, B-girl with them, you know, on the 9, you know, or with my other friends as well. But also, you know, I used to go to Herc's party. So I got to give props to him to help me move, you know, along into the what was forming as the hip-hop culture, you know, because, you know, I honored, you know, Herc back then because, you know, his music, you know, was really what made me connect, you know, to becoming a B girl, you know, and going on to become an MC. Now, also when we talk about, you know, Wanda D, I got to give her credit as well because when she did a couple of interviews and she invited me to come up, you know, to you know, do something one time with her in New York. But I also got to say too that the Mercedes Ladies DJ, Baby D, they were one of the first, if not the first, the founding female DJs. And I just wanted to touch down basis on that.
Yeah. And I'm not taking it from her. I just feel, because I'm a little older, there are many godfathers to the aspect of this culture. I'm not going to give it to one person because I did experience going to Brooklyn. I did experience going to Small's Paradise when Hollywood was there. And, you know, everybody falls in a tree, and everybody has a tree line where they who they sing first. And I always said in interviews, even in the Yes, Your book, there's more than one godfather when it comes to hip-hop, because if you look at today's media, they look at Russell Simmons as the godfather of all of this, and at the end of the day, it ain't happening.
Well, you know what it is that with Russell Simmons, you know, as opposed to Kool Herc, you know, my thing is that Kool Herc started a movement. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I would say he started a movement of the culture. You know, when you had your DJs and your MCs, you know, which was a part of the culture, and then you had, you know, your B girl and your B boy, your B boys. So he started a movement, but we all know that it was not called hip hop when Herc started it, but he did start up the movement. Now we also discuss, you know, the different areas of the Bronx, like Manhattan, Queens, whatever, that may say, oh no, it started in Queens, or no, it started in the Bronx, or no, it started in that. But you know what, you know, my point and my take was on it. Yes, everybody, you know what I'm saying, was playing, you know, disco music and this and that, you know, in the parks and all of that stuff. You know, your Evelyn Champagne Kings, you know, your Michael Jacksons and all of that stuff. We were, most DJs were playing that. But when we're talking about the movement of the culture, then we're talking about in the Bronx, Theodore, Flash, Change the Game of Scratching, you know, because you know the DJs, you know, from Flowers, you know, to even to Hollywood, or even to you know, anybody that was out there, you know, in their respective areas, wasn't slicing, wasn't cutting, wasn't needle dropping, nothing. All of that was being done in the Bronx and was being manifested and created in the Bronx, and that's what people don't realize. It's the difference in the movement of the culture, and I do agree with you on some aspects of, you know, where, you know, the different people, you know, were in their different areas. But we're talking about elements that have made hip-hop what it is today.
Now earlier you mentioned that, you know, I think there's a distinct difference between the rap aspect and then the hip-hop cultural aspect.
Absolutely, and that's what people don't get. Yeah. That's what get it, but they choose to ignore it.
Right. So there's a lot of MCs, whether female or male, that are rappers because they're generating revenue, or they're getting popularity, and they're putting out songs and albums and different projects, but it's considered rap because the other elements are not. Like, for example, I've been to, you know, hip-hop shows of artists who are coming out. There's no DJ on the stage. There's no dancers. It's just the rapper and the instrumental. And it's like, okay, this is considered hip-hop to mainstream America or to the world, but it's not the so explain, Sha Rock, the difference between you know, and you said B girl, which is the break girls, and the B boys, which is the break boys, you know, get out there and do their thing, and then, you know, which was happening in the Bronx.
Okay, and you explain the difference. I know, like I said, no, you know, some of the artists, you know, today may not be feeling, you know, a break dancer or you know, a B girl, B-boy on stage. Some of the artists may not be feeling a DJ on the stage. And not to say that some artists don't take their DJs out with them. Some of them do. But my thing is that when you're talking about, represent all the elements, some people, may just, go out there, with their record, and that's their choice. But when we're talking about, celebrating all elements and then respecting what it was meant to be, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to another. Because my thing is that, you have your knowledge, as years they done add on, many different eras of hip hop that we supposed to be, represent. You have your basic B-girl, B-boy, DJ, graffiti, and then you have your knowledge, and then they added on style and all of that stuff, which was already, a part of the culture. It's just that they started talking about it. And my thing is that if you do not respect and you don't respect the origins of what hip-hop is supposed to really mean, then that means that you're not real. Yes, you could have good wordplay. That's just a plus. You understand what I'm saying? Because then you got to do wordplay as one element of rap.
Right.
I mean, one element, that is the rap. But if you don't celebrate and you don't out there, you don't have to disrespect or, cause violence or anything like that to get your point across. Let your skills speak for it all, and then you keep moving forward. But if that's how you got to do, and then, it's so much involved, I think, really like in the culture where we're respecting it. Maybe, to some people, they may think it sounds corny or it don't mean nothing for peace, unity, and having fun. That was our reasons for, creating this culture or helping this culture to move forward, to get away from all of that. Why would you want to go back? Why would you want to go back?
Right.
My thing is that, maybe it don't matter. I'll be like, man, fit them ones back in the days. They just mad because they ain't make no money. They ain't do this and do that, do that, and do that. You know what? For some, that may be the issue. You understand what I'm saying? For some, that may be the issue. But if you choose, whether or not you're making $1 or not, you still going to go to your grave, represent no matter what, because you still have one thing that most important is that joy, that hip-hop, feeling in your heart to know that you're doing right by the culture.
Right.
And you're going to go down in history representing, not just because you have hit records, but you made a difference. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I'm most proud of.
Right, and that argument has come up a lot over the last maybe 3 or 4 years that I've been really into, digging up, the realness of hip hop culture. A lot of people go back and say, the first, especially the first generation hip hop cats, the females or the males, like, oh, they bitter, they don't want to work with us, we ain't gonna work with them, they mad because this and that, like, so. I understand now what you're saying. Like, it's not about being bitter about the new generation doing things because we're not making the money that you're making.
No.
It's about having that feeling, like you said, that passion to do it to the day you die. Like, I'm still. Who was I watching? I forgot who it was, but I think it was Tash from MC Tash from the Alcoholics out in L.A. He was saying hip hop is something that you live every day. Like, so you can point like this, or then you can put a little bit more on it and point somewhere like this, and when you point like this, that's hip hop. Or you can walk and turn and look like that, or you can turn like this, and that's hip hop. So it's like it's a feeling, and I'm not sure how much of the generation.
And it's in your heart. It's in your heart.
Right. And
let me also explain. Let me also iterate on that too. Now, and when you talk about people. Being upset or just like mad, and because the monetary reward has never been there with. The pioneers. My thing is that, when you see people, when I see, and it is coming from a female, and it's coming from a woman, and it's coming from an MC. When I see people like MC Light, and I see people like Lauryn Hill, and I see people like Queen Latifah, and I see people like Nicki Minaj that has made it, and that has, no matter what, and I put Nicki Minaj last because they were before us, but they kept moving forward, and they kept moving forward, and they kept moving forward. So this is the thing. There's no reason for me or anybody else to be mad at their success. The thing is that you could only blame yourself if you have not continued to move forward. No, you don't have to stay in the rap game. You understand what I'm saying? What they did was, and I'm hoping that they used an experience from myself. You know what I'm saying? The Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 and other, MCs from our era to say, you know what, I learned for them quietly, but I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm not going to be stuck on a rap issue, but I'm going to make my name and I'm going to do what I got to do and move forward in other eras of the industry to be successful. And that's what a lot of people are not doing. And so even I'll credit, for sure, people like Sean Puffy Combs. So the thing is that no matter what, he didn't stick with just rap. He found other ways to move forward. And every now and then, Jay-Z as well. Go back. So none of us could blame nobody for your misfortunes. Blame yourself that you did not, move forward and continue to move forward to make your legacy become a reality.
Right.
As I'm trying to do, it has been doing for the last couple of decades.
Right. And as we, talk about the current state of the female MC who are, we got, shout out to Nicki Minaj, who you mentioned, who's, signed to a major label, Cash Money and all of that. Now, we've had, of course, MC Light on Priority and Nikki D on Def Jam and the ladies JJ Fat out there on Ruthless. So now we go back to the record label situation with, the Funky Four being on Enjoy Records. How did you all get to the point where you all were able to, you say, okay, we're going to put this on wax. We're going to take what we've done in the parks. We're going to get in the studio, ladies tracks, Enjoy Records. Talk about that situation, how that came about.
Well, as I said to your audience previously, at one point, and to me, I like to name names because if I don't name names, then it's like I'm not sincere, and you're not going to know what I'm talking about, and nobody else can go back and change the story. Or, you know what I'm saying, when you talk about history, you have to be specific, so that way people could step back and say, oh, okay, she's right. So you're talking about 1979. As I told you before, I was the original part of the Funky Four, back in 77, 78, we rocking, okay? So Bobby Robinson, which was, he had a nephew named Spoonie G. He said, look, and Bobby Robinson was the owner of Enjoy Records. He said, look, I want you to go out and see what's going on. Tell me who is the hottest group in New York City. So Spoonie G went back to his uncle Bobby Robinson and said, you know what, Grandmaster Flash and them is awesome, but the Funky Four is killing it. They got this girl named Sha Rock, and I think you should really go with them. So boom, we cut our record with Enjoy Record. It was one of the longest rap records ever. You know what I'm saying? Until someone else went and did it.
Right.
So you're talking about from 1977 to 79. I'm with the Funky Four. I left. And Raheem left. The original members of the original Funky Four was Raheem, myself, K.K. Rockwell, and Chief Keef. Raheem left to go over to Grandmaster Flash in the Furious Spot. I just left because Raheem left and no one told me what was going on. So later, I came back to the group maybe like a month or two later. I became the plus one, and then there were two new members, Jazzy Jeff and Little Rodney C, and I became the plus one, so we were the Funky Four plus one. Within a matter of months, in the 6 months or so, whatever, that we were together, in a matter of months, we had made more history and history. That was our groundbreaking era, too, of making history. Okay, so now we like the first one, in New York City, rap group. And when I say rap group or a hip-hop artist, that's because we was on the streets. We didn't just come into the game, you know what I'm saying, in 1979 when a lot of other people came into the game and record records. And when I say the first female MC of the hip-hop culture, I'm talking about celebrating all eras of the hip-hop culture on wax as well. So he came to us, boom, within, a couple of months. I think we got together in July. By November, we had Rapping and Rocking the House out, on wax, and it was a good thing. So in 1979, you had a handful of artists that came out, some people like, Curtis Blow, Sugar Hill Gang, King Tim, the Funky 4+1, I think about two more people. Then you had Lady B. So the reason why I came out and start telling my story and correcting the story, because, for many years, I think the world had believed that maybe Queen Latifah was, or MC Light was, or not saying that they was, but a lot of times I saw that it wasn't corrected. MC Light or Lady B or, whatever. So people were stuck on Lady B. So they said, okay, well, Lady B had a song out, in 1979, and she's the first female rapper of hip-hop. No, that's not true. I had a song out in 79, too. And she was not the first female MC of the hip-hop culture, because remember, I was on the streets of New York, traveling, from state to state and borough to borough in New York on the street, celebrating all eras, from the cassette tapes to flyers. So then I had to come out and let people know, no, that's not true. That's not true. So I felt like it should have been corrected. This has been going on for many years, and it should have been corrected. And then, and I'm honored that the producer, had included me, in, My Mic Sounds Nice. Actually, I was back and forth with her on email on My Mic Sounds Nice. So she wanted pictures. So I was never told what, she said for a documentary, but I was never told what, the documentary was about.
Right.
So later on, I think I seen, that's when My Mic Sounds Nice come out. And so I see, Light, giving props, and I love that. But what I didn't understand is that, okay, you're in contact with me. You know how you're in contact. Why would you not want to let me tell my story? Why would you not do that? And then you had a young man, and then you had Lady B, and much respect to her. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is that, okay, when you're giving history, and the documentary was about women in hip hop, and giving, the history of the women, some of the women through my era, and they came after me. But when you putting this information out in front of the masses and the media, it gives the hip hop culture and its history a disservice that you're not telling the full truth, because you had to see my stuff all over the internet, and I told you who I am and what I represent. You had to know this, but you allow somebody else to say that they was, and let somebody else say it without breaking it down and telling the truth. That when you play with hip-hop history, I have a problem with that, because it was so easy for you to find out the truth before you release that information out there.
Right.
That's what I don't understand. So bitter not the monetary aspect, but the people that have the power to tell these stories, and not all. Don't get me wrong. I am humbled and honored that people want to be able to tell the story, but why not come to me? Why not ask me? Why would you allow somebody else to tell my story when I can tell you, I can give you a better story than they can, because I lived it. Right. And that's what I don't understand.
Well, let me say this. Again, it goes back to the male egotistic things of how you treat women. Remember,
but I don't think it's all men, though. It's not all men.
It is all men. I'm going to explain to you why.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Remember, you was one out of a million in what we was doing. Everybody was Sha Rock's boyfriend. Remember that. Everybody was Sha Rock's boyfriend. That's my
but everybody had Sha Rock, so let's get that straight. Okay, clear it up.
Donna Ross
clear it up.
Motown. So Sha Rock was like Donna Ross on Motown amongst all us guys. Now let me explain to you. Lady B come out of Philly. She worked on WDH radio. When God bless her soul, Butterbean Ball gave her the job. She, when shows happened, she was the host. Then you had the guys out there with Pop Art Records, and Shantae recorded it out there. And the problem is, again, we all knew the true history in the beginning little circle of when all this started, because eventually we all was in Harlem World, or we was in T Connection, we was in Savoy Mass. So we knew Sha Rock was number one. When Winston Sanders, a promoter, they used to do the Madison Square Garden. He put
tell him again what your job was back in the days. What was your job again?
I was the promoter. I was one of the few guys that promoted these groups along 6 or 7 other promoters, and that's what it is in the game. At least 8 besides, your team of Together Brothers, with your crew, Breakout and Baron and all of them.
And then the Funky Four.
Funky Four. But what I'm trying to say is Winston Sanders had knowledge of who you was when he put together Supernature and originally with Salt and Pepper. Okay?
Right.
MC Light, father, knew who you was. Okay? Everybody knew who you was. The problem was Russell Simmons knew who you was. I don't care what brand you went into a jersey. Everybody knew who Sha Rock was because the funny part was they always thought she was the +1, but the +1 meant more than the Funky Four. Who's the +1? Because she was the girl.
That was me because I came back. Because remember, I was the original Funky Four, but I came back. You know, and so when they got two new members, which was 4 guys, then I came back, and then I became the +1. But I was the original.
The male chauvinistic thing. The +1 had to be the girl. Why could it have been Keith? Why could it have been Ronnie C? So what I'm trying to say is, everybody in the beginning, and let's say Jersey, Connecticut, Philly, when it was just still in there, nobody was traveling no further than that, knew who this girl was because they was the first group on Saturday Night Live. I was pissed off. Like, how the hell they do that? Before Grandmaster Flash in the first time.
Well, you want me to tell you how, and then I'll finish?
We can take it out.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is that the male Shantae came out on Pop Arts to the people in Philly who may not have known anything. They probably thought Roxanne Shantae was the first female rapper. Because our people have a history of not checking your history.
Wow.
Okay? We don't have a history of going back to see what's really true and what's not really true. Because I'm going to say this one time only. There was no Jam Master Jay on the first 2 Run DMC records. But when you want to tell the story, then you tell your story and it's believable. And not just in Jay, because he's not here. I know. Everybody knows.
Well, you know, let me add on to that, and not to take nothing from them, but you had Baby D, which is one of the original DJs. That was the DJ for Run. And a lot of people don't know that, but that's what it is. And she was from the Mercedes Ladies.
Run, the son of Curtis Blow, who DJ AJ. Who DJ AJ, one of the greatest hip-hop promoters, was DJing for Run DMC, which some MC and them came out on tour. So we're not going to get into that, but I'm just trying to say it was, again, the male chauvinistic thing of all the males against one female. She was like the one person in the battlefield with all these male rappers. Could you imagine?
And let me tell you this, though, and that's why so it feels like a blessing and a curse. Because let me come to Run defense, and I know what you're saying, Silk. But the thing is that recently, you know, and I tell the story how DMC, you know, I was doing a 3-hour serious radio special, and they allowed me to have my show where I interviewed, you know, Nikki D and MC Light, and I interviewed Lady B, you know, as well, you know, and Baby D. But the thing is that DMC found out I was doing the show, and he did this audio for me to have. And when it was sent to me, you know, and I have it on YouTube, so when y'all get a chance, you know, your audience, y'all could check it out. But when he sent it to me, he was like, he gave it to one of the producers at Sirius and said, I want Sha Rock to have it. And what it said on it is that I was better than 90% of the dudes that was out back then. And when they did, Tougher Than Leather, he told Jam Master Jay, when I do this echo chamber, the echo chamber was, you know, for y'all who don't know, it was a reverb on your voice. So if you said around, if I said, yes, y'all, it repeated everything that I said, and I was a master at it, and I was the first female to use it. And so because they heard a tape of me back in, you know, in New York, you know, at a school he was going to in Manhattan, these cassette tapes were floating around. And he said, look, when we go in the studio, make me sound like Sha Rock on the echo chamber. And that's what Jam Master Jay did. And I have to give him props. And I do this in every interview, and it may sound redundant, but the thing is that out of him being a dude, and I know, Silk, you got my back, you know, and 360, you got mine. But for a dude of his caliber to be able to, you know, sell millions and millions of records and people hear him, and for him to come out after all this time, you know what I'm saying, and say that, you know, I was a person that he looked up to, that takes a lot of guts. You know, especially coming from a dude, and he did it, and I will be ever indebted because that takes a lot. You understand what I'm saying? Because not only did I...
Hey, hold on, but you know what? Can you hear me? I'm going to say
Not only did I inspire females, but I inspired dudes to stepped their game up in a time frame where it wasn't about how I look. You know what? Me looking like I was or maintaining, that was a plus. But that's not how they came at me. They respected me on my skills because you know what? As Silk has said before, I roll with them all. From Melly Mel, you know, the prolific writer, you know what I'm saying, to the Keith Cowboys, you know, to African Bambaataa, to Kool Herc, you know, to all of the guys that was out there, along with the Funky Four. I was just as good as they were.
But I ain't taking nothing away from nobody.
No, I know you're not.
And I listened to that interview yesterday, the most brought tears in my eyes because
what interview?
DMC is one of the rappers who worship the Bronx rappers.
Wow. Yeah, he did, because Rodney told me a story.
He really let it come out. He really let it come out, and he loved the Cold Crush. And, you know, he said Sha Rock changed his life as to wanting to be an MC.
Right.
Yeah, he did say that, right? Yeah.
I listened to it yesterday. I'm like, wow. Because, you know, male ego again running around. And I'm just trying to say, again, Sha Rock, amongst all the male rappers in our generation when we started, would have been like a guy coming out saying, excuse my terminology, that he's gay. That's what it was like. She was just
Are you serious? Okay.
No, what I'm trying to say, you know, if you'd have came out back there, if a guy would have came out back there and say, I'm gay.
Oh, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Well, you know what? And also let me say this shout out to Puffy, because I was looking at found something on online where he was doing an interview, you know, in the '92 Tribeca thing that they were having going on right then, and he was saying, you know, me being in you know, into hip hop, when I heard Sha Rock's voice, you know, I didn't know what she looked like, but you know, he had referenced to me as one of his you know, favorite all times, because when he heard my voice, he was mesmerized, and I have to say that. So once again, you're talking about, you know, icons, you know, from, you know, that you know, changing up the guards, as I say, into the culture where, you know, the guys are giving me the props. You're talking, you know, 30 something years ago,
right.
You know,
right.
And so once again, how you not going to respect the culture and my history and hip hop's history when you do some injustice and not, you know, help me bring it to the forefront?
Right.
I'm talking about the people that have the power to do that. You know what I mean?
We can put this to bed real quick. If you grew up in hip hop in the 80s, there was only one female that you knew that was on record that count, and that was Sha Rock.
Right. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact,
let's start it off in the 70s. Let's start it off. Yeah, you're right. Let's start it off, you know, in 79 and then with Sugar Hill. You know what I'm saying? Once again,
rap label. Who's on the biggest rap label?
Right. But then we're talking about right. But hold up though. Then once again, that's when people, you know, get confused, because we're not talking about coming into the game on records. We're talking about the hip hop culture movement. That's where I separate. You understand what I'm saying?
No, we know that, but I'm just saying the father record for those who wasn't in the parts.
Yes,
the first record you heard with a female was you. We all know, for those who ran around who's 55 and over, or 50 and over, we know the deal. Right. If you're 45, don't talk about you know the deal.
Right.
Because it was impossible.
And with that being said, with that being said, I want to just interject real quick, and I want to play a clip. I'm going to play a clip of the actual run when DMC made those comments.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Of course, you know what I'm saying, we gonna run it, and just to let you all out there hear what DMC said actually, you know, about this inspiration that he had in his life from the echo chamber. And if you listen to the song Together Forever, if you listen to I think it was Beats to the Rhyme and other songs like that, even up to when they did Down with the King, when they made their comeback in the early 90s, you can hear that echo chamber and that reverb on DMC's voice.
Before you play that, let me touch base down on history that a lot of people don't know. Back in the days when they were listening to the tapes that we had, you know, the Funky 4+1, we did a routine. The Funky 4 had a routine off of Aerosmith, you know, Walk This Way, that Running Them did it.
Right.
Our routine was off of Aerosmith, a routine that the guys used to do in the streets and at the jam. And then Running Them recorded it.
Wow.
That's a part of history.
That sounds like
much respect because the record was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick would do it, but it was a routine off the song from Aerosmith that we were doing in the street. The Funky Four was doing in the street at park jams.
Wow, and y'all hear it first. The first female MC ever saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Not to take nothing away.
Yeah.
We're talking about history. We're talking about how we have influenced. Sha Rock and the Funky Four have influenced so many, and I'm just saying, we're talking history.
Right.
That's all.
And here it is right here. We're going to listen to DMC of the legendary group, Run DMC, who gave you hits like My Adidas, Sucker MCs, You Talk Too Much. The list goes on and on. Here it is right here. DMC talking about Sha Rock's influence on his music.
I heard this female MC from the group Funky 4+1. 4 dudes MC. She was the +1. Her name was Sha Rock. And they had a record out. They had the Mexican out, and then they had a couple of records out on Sugar Hill and Enjoy and stuff like that. But one day I heard something that wasn't Sha Rock's record, and it was a tape of her rhyming over 7 Minutes of Funk. And she said some crazy dope rhymes that is better than 85% of MCs out today. But this is what was life-changing in me. She was rhyming over don't, and she was rhyming with the echo chamber. And she said, to all of you, my name is Sha. And it said, I was like, what the hell? What is this echo chamber thing? She said, to all of you, my name is Sha. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have a car. But here's one thing I want y'all to know. I'm a good loving person from a long time ago. One of a kind, rock your mind. I was like, I stood there in my house and rewinded that tape over for 3 days straight. I couldn't believe how incredible this girl was with the echo chamber. Then comes along and I get a chance to go make records. And I was like, yo, Jay, I gotta be like Sha Rock. I gotta have that echo chamber. Sha Rock is genre changing. So, Sha Rock, I give it up to you. You and the Cold Crush 4 are the reason why DMC is the king of rock. When I heard that echo chamber with Sha Rock, and her rhymes was dope. And she was doper than the dudes back then. Because what was good about Funky 4+1 was they rhymed about, their sneakers and taking the subway train and going to school and what they would eat for lunch. Like, they rhymed about stuff that was relevant to that particular age group of hip-hop. But Sha Rock, I got to give the props to her. She's not only a legendary pioneer icon female MC, you dudes need to take lessons from Sha Rock. She changed my life. To this day, the reason why me and Run did party people, you're chill, echo chamber because of Sha Rock. We love you.
When you listen to that MC Sha Rock, you have to feel good about somebody like DMC saying those words about you and you influencing him in that way. So is there? But before we go any further, I want to ask you this. Is there an MC to this day, and whether male or female, that embodies that whole the idea of having the hip hop culture moving forward? That you're listening to, or you may have heard of, within the past maybe 15 to 20 years, that has actually moved the culture forward and celebrates all aspects of it, like you spoke of before.
Man, there's so many. I love Common. I love Common. I love Kweli. I love him. I love wait a minute. It's so many. Who else? There's so many that I love, that I think that just represents the true, and not to take nothing from anybody, because to be honest with you, I listen to everything from the 50s. I'm saying, to the stuff that they have on the radio, because once again, if you listen, and you listen enough, you'll be to the radio, then it begins to stay in your head.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that a lot of people might not think I like. Why? Because it's entertaining. I like because I think that some of the stuff, maybe crazy, because we're talking about the kids, because they emulate everything that is going on these days. But once again, there's a lot of people that hasn't still influenced me, I should say. Sometimes when I hear, Puffy's music, he makes music that I want to dance to.
Right.
That I don't have to worry about, turning around or the club getting chewed up if I do go. It's just like party music and people are happy.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that I will listen to, and a lot of people, it's so many, and I don't want to leave people out, but I am still influenced these days by a lot of people that, move it a little bit further. And for the culture, or I should say for the rap, some people may not think, Puffy, but I think, it's all about, getting people on the dance floor, rap music. If you rapping about, being happy, go out there, get on the dance floor, to me, those things, and no, don't get me wrong, everybody don't have to do that. And everybody don't have to send a message. But I know that when I go out, and that's rarely, I just like to know that, I'm not going to listen to something that's going to make the next man, very, upset or want to, go crazy or whatever, But it's a lot, and I don't want to leave nobody out. But there's a lot of people nowadays that and it's out there now that I'm highly, still influenced by, or like.
I've been thinking this as well. Like you mentioned that hip hop is comes from your heart, and it's there's songs that can be happy, make you want to get on the dance floor. Now, toward the end of the '80s or mid '80s to the middle part of the '90s, there was a real like socially conscious movement,
right?
Quote unquote gangster rap, coming out
Public Enemy,
the Public Enemies, the Ghetto Boys, the NWA,
right.
and then you got the 2 Live Crew with the controversy out there. Was you being a trailblazer and a pioneer and a legend in the game? Did you all have, or you personally have, a sense of like, all right, what are they doing to our music? Like,
no, not at all, because you're talking about
and not to discredit like a song like The Message.
No, because listen, nobody don't want to. I think that, listen, if you for the culture, you for rap advancing. You know what I'm saying? The styles of rap advancing. It's how you say it and what you're saying. Now, so when you talk about, people like Public Enemy or NWA, they talk about stuff that went on, in their era, in their perspective, locations and what light, to how they were feeling. And no, I won't say, what are they doing to our culture? Because still, I really do think that rap, is a part of expressing yourself, and rap within the hip hop culture. You are, you can choose what you want to say, but you got to be conscious to know that repercussions is going to come behind what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, my thing is that, okay, so if you got NWA over here saying F the police, and you got Public Enemy saying fight the power, okay, you got some people feel like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not going to take nothing away from how they're feeling at that time, because they may went through something at that time to inspire them to make the song. You understand what I'm saying? My thing is that you can rap about what you feel. Just know that there are repercussions behind what you say, especially if you are influencing, or you have influence on the masses or a certain part. And I think at the end, you should know that you will be held accountable. So my thing is that if we all come out sounding like the Sugar Hill Gang in the beginning, or maybe how some of us used to rap in the beginning, nobody wants to, there's a select people that don't want to hear that or keep hearing that, over and over again. It's about, changing your craft and upping your craft, and also, just, how you see some of them now that, that play around with wordplay, in rap songs. But like I said, it still goes back to whatever you're saying. Just know that you are responsible for it.
Right.
You're responsible for it.
Right.
And I know some maybe say, oh, it's Sha Rock, I'm saying you should be an advocate for, don't say F the police, or don't, pop that, whatever, whatever. My thing is that, what? People have a right to listen what they want to, and you can't take that away from them. You can't take that away because you have people that like the Sugar Hill area, like the whole old school area. You like the people that like the 90s era, the 80s era, or the 2000s, whatever. The thing is that that's their choice. But still, as an artist, you still have to be conscious about what you do. And if you allow, the people that putting you out to say, okay, this is what's going to sell records, so we got to do it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Then you know what? You bite the bullet, because at the end, there's repercussions that's going to come out. You make a few dollars, you know what I'm saying? If that's what you are right with, then that's what you are right with.
Right.
But by the same token, you know what I'm saying? Just say, okay, so, what next? What next? Because artists come a dime a dozen. So after you done did it, then what's your legacy? How do you want to be known? What do you want to leave, for your children to come behind you? You understand what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
How do you want your children to respect a woman? How do you want your children to respect an old lady walking down the street or old man walking down the street?
Right.
Because if someone treat your kids the way that you portray how you treat a woman, then karma is we can't encourage karma is something else. What goes around will come around, bottom line.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's important for anybody that's listening out there that aspires to be a rapper or entertainer, actor or whatever. You're responsible. Like MC Sha Rock said, you're responsible for the information that you put out there that people are listening to or watching. So, but I want to go back to before we got too real deep into the interview. You mentioned that you got your group, the Funky 4+1, had the longest song like before another group did it, and that's the 16-minute Rapping and Rocking the House. Like, what was it about those longer songs back in those days that motivated you guys to keep going on and on and on, where there was really no hooks, and if there was a hook, it was probably one at the beginning and one later, and everybody's just going back and forth, trading off verses. Like, describe the creative process with that, and if there was any, accommodation made for the lady in the group. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
there was no accommodation made, and let me tell you why. Because first of all, when we first did Rapping and Rocking the House, which was our first record in 1979, under Enjoy Record, we did that song in 16 minutes. The first time that we went in and did Rapping and Rocking the House, we did it with Punkin. All we had, and Punkin was a drummer.
Right.
He was a drummer that we used first. That he was the first one that we brought online, to do music, and he went on to do For the Treacherous Three, Mastodon and Death Committee, and everybody else, But Punkin was the first one that came under the Funky Four and the Brothers Disco. We found him, we introduced him to the game, and he went on from there. But we went and did that song one time, straight, with no chaser or nothing. Wow. And there was no recording. I'm going to tell you why, because what we did was transform what we were doing in the streets of New York to record. So we had routines. So that's what we did. We went back and forth. And so back then, it wasn't, you give me 16 bars and that's it.
Right.
It was like, however long your rhyme was, that's how you go. And then when you pass it on to the next man or the next female, then they know to come in. That's what we did. So it was never about, planning, okay, this is what you're going to say when you go in, to the studio. Our raps were what we were doing on the street. So we did that 16 minutes, one time, with Punkin and one drummer.
One
straight
take.
Off the bat.
Y'all went in, got behind the mics, and whatever y'all said is what the record, that's what we hear today is the one take. Wow. And so there was no paper, nothing. Y'all went in there and just knocked it out.
Nah, because if you know your rhymes and one of the things that we always practice on and we was good, we were the one, to make up the hooks on, to the beat that makes you want to rap. Come on, Sha Rock, cut out the crap, get on the mic, start to rap, let everybody know I'm going through it. We were the first one, to do the hooks in bringing the next person in.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And had a solo, and then other groups, begin to start, doing that. The Funky Four was the first group to have their own mics, and back then to have a show mic and walk around with your own mic, you was top dog. And we were the first one to use mic stand, because mind you, back then we were coined as the Gladys Knights and Pips of hip hop. So we had our own mic stands, we had our own mics. We didn't depend on nobody wherever we go. And to have a sure mic, you was good. We walked around with our mic always ready to do what we had to do. You know, and so and a lot of people came from our era. We inspired a lot of people to go, you know, to other people. Like as I said before, Punkin began to make, you know, music, you know, or play the drums for a lot of other people. Then you talk about 45 King Mark. You know, he was the Funky 4 plus one and Brothers Disco record boy. He was our record boy, but he went on later, and 45 King Mark also did Jay-Z's a Hard Knock Life.
Right.
He also went on to produce several hits for Queen Latifah. So what he had learned from us, he took on to make a lot of them, you know, successful as well from what he was bringing to the game, for what he learned from the Brothers Disco and the type of music that he was putting out to them as well.
Right, and
hold on one second,
let me just add real quick. You know the Ed Lover dance, the 1-900 number. That's that's one of my favorite little transition songs and beats that Mark the 45 King put together too. I just wanted to add that.
Oh yeah. And started with the Funky 4.
Yeah.
And he started with the Funky 4. Wow. We gave him his first. He was passing records to DJ Breakout, you know, for us to get on the mic, you know, or finding the records. Right. He's our record boy. He was at every party. He was there. He was a part of our crew. So what? And Mark could tell you, because I just spoke to him probably like a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, Sha Rock, I know the history. You know what I'm saying? He said, but you got to get out there, and you got to get out there, and you got to tell it. He said, and he too told me that, he said a lot of the stuff that, I took on to do Hard Knock Life or took on to Queen Latifah, is what I learned being a part of the Funky 4 and the Brothers Disco. And I say that's what's up.
Wow. So I would say a little bit indirectly, you know what I'm saying? I think we can all come to the conclusion that anything, well, I won't say anything, but some of the influence of today's music from the Blueprint album that he produced on, and Queen Latifah and these other artists, has an inadvertent influence from the Funky 4+1. So you all have a trail of history within even modern day music.
I won't take all credit. I don't want the Funky 4 to take all credit for what Jay-Z or Queen has, because they are awesome artists in their own right. But I'm talking about the tracks. Right. And I don't know, if it is just the culture or whether or not she heard or knew or whatever. I'm just saying now, whether or not, either one of them choose to admit it, I don't know, but what I'm saying is that, that the tracks that were done, by 45 King Mark, he said that, when he produced it for him, it was a reflection of what he had learned being with us.
Right.
So I'm not gonna, take credit to say, well, this Funky 4 made Queen Latifah, or they they did that themselves, and I won't do that, But I'm saying early on, a product of what was a part of us had influenced some of their biggest hits. And this is what he said, that, he did those, and he was inspired by what he had learned being a part of the Brothers Disco and the Funky 4.
And what I wanted to say was, for historical records of actuality, the reason why the Funky 4 was called the Gladys Knight and Pips, because Bobby Robinson was the man who who discovered Gladys Knights and the Pips.
Oh, yeah, see, there you go.
And another thing, Mark is from East Orange, New Jersey.
Absolutely. And you should travel to the Bronx every Friday and Saturday.
I want everybody to understand, in true history, actuality, that Mark was the creator of Flavor Unit.
Right.
And he not only did he do Jay-Z Hard Knock Life, Mark had got to the point in his career that he didn't want to be in the studio, so he created a lot of tracks. Now that would go by the reels, from Diamond D to KG and For Naughty by Nature and all that. So those are all Mark's tracks. All those hits were his, even taken in the crates.
They don't know that.
And I've been to Mark's house because Ron Mason, who did Bounce Rock, Skate and Roll, lived right around the corner from Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just to make the history accurate and how things transcended,
Right. Right.
all the way around.
So
and to say and bottom line, you know, we're talking history, and we're talking not only, you know, MC Sha Rock's history, but the history of the Funky Four and the Brothers Disco, how we had influenced so many. Even it wasn't just the African American culture, but it was also, you know, the punk rock, you know, cultures, you know, you know, all of the, I don't want to say, I'm trying to find out what is politically correct, but you know, the Caucasian, you know, culture, you know what I'm saying? Because then, like, we didn't know that at that time, you know, when we were playing in like the village where you had a lot of punk rockers go, you know, from the Mud Club to the Ritz, you know, to the different, you know, places that we were playing, that you had people like the Beastie Boys, you know what I'm saying, in the crowd watching us perform as young teenagers. And then, you know, we go to hear one year on VH1 when they asked the Beastie Boys, well, tell us who influenced you. And for them to say, you know, the Funky 4+1, that was like, what? Are you serious? You were there? You understand what I'm saying? So we're talking about, you know, all different types of avenues that we have, you know, influenced so many people. And so when they give out these awards, you know what I'm saying, they honor Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and they honor, you know, Bambaataa, and they honor Hollywood. But how you not going to honor the Funky Four when maybe, I don't know, how you not going to be aware of our contributions? Because when you're talking about any old school hip hop, when you look at, you know, stuff, you have Busta Rhymes making songs about us. You have Nas making songs about the Funky 4+1. You have Jay-Z saying in his book, the first time, you know, that I guess in reference to him, you know, experienced, you know, a change in hip hop, he says was when the Funky Four was on national TV. Okay, so come on, we broke a milestone. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. We made history. Right. You know, and so that's the thing that I don't get. You know, when you talk about old school hip hop and you watch Brown Sugar and you hear Common mention the Funky 4+1. You know, we're mentioning several different things, you know, movies and this and that. But what? You don't, I don't get it.
Yeah,
you know the deal. Now, like right now we're on what's it, Canon of America. It probably like a couple of seconds or whatever, but I am honored that Steve Stout, you know, he wrote his book, he put us in it, because now it does bring forth, you know what I'm saying? And okay, so he's doing his thing by letting people know how it changed and included the Funky Four, and I'm honored that he did that, you know. And I'm just saying, you know, maybe now, you know, people will get it, you know, get the culture, you know, get how, you know, the Funky 4+1 and we're instrumental in bringing this culture to where it is today.
Right.
You know?
And with that being said, I want to go in right now and play, because it is a 16-minute song. Of course, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to go in and play a little bit of rapping and rocking the house, just so the audience can see how another artist like DMC or the Beastie Boys can be influenced. So I'm going to play this track. I'm going to play a clip of it, and everybody out there that's listening, just listen to the technical mastery and the the way that the song is produced and the instrumentation and the way that the MCs are flowing over the beat, and just get an understanding of why we're even having this conversation with the first female MC. So here it is right here on a 360 Mix Show. We're going to go into it right now. Rapping and rocking the house. Funky 4+1 more.
What's up? You're now listening to the sounds of the first female MC on the mic ever. The first female MC of the hip-hop culture. And I'm rocking with DJ 360, and you are too. Peace.
The way we rock the house, sure enough, everybody gonna turn it out.
Well, I'm kicking rock well, cause the rock so swell. Every time you hear my name, it rings a bell.
Well, I'm living right to see, making history with all the fly girls yelling, take me.
Well, I'm Sha rockin', I can't be stopped, for all the fly guys gonna hit the top.
Well, I'm Keith, but you can call me Keith Caesar. The reason why, cause I'm the women pleaser.
Well, I'm Jazzy Jazz with the most finesse. Now I do it to the rhythm till I do it the best. With the Funky Four,
and I'm the +1 more.
And this is the way we go back and forth.
With the 5 MCs that are too much, we rock the mindset with the magic touch.
We're on time, we're masterminds, we hypnotize when we run down the rhyme.
Therefore, fly guys, I'm the best female. I'm telling the truth, not a fairy tale.
Now just listen to the story that the 5 put down, and travel around.
And we said it once, and we said it twice, and we're proving to you that we're better than nice.
Sha Rock, don't stop,
just turn on your mind
when you're ready to rock.
Because the sun won't shine, the rain won't stop, but we got a style called punk rock. Just get up out your chair, start to have some fun. We're two DJs looking for a +1. To the people out there, we want you to know we are the ones with the magic show. We're two DJs and 5 MCs, 4 other fellas +1 is me. We're here to please everybody out there. Forget about your problems, get them out your hair. So just get on the floor, don't you be shy. You can do it too, just give it a try. To the people out there, we won't the best. Satisfaction guarantee is what we possess. We rock on the mic with a master plan. We do it for the girl, woman, boy, your man. And most people go around just thinking anyway. We want you to hear what we say. The things we say, the things we do. It's like running the race and alone come through. There's a lot of competition to be, but they are the ones. We are the ones. I am the ones with the most you need. KK, don't stop. Just get on the mic. Just get on the mic. Just get on the mic when you're ready to rock.
BeatBreakRadioFM.com, Atlanta's new underground station. The Dark Knight Entertainment Multimedia Company. Follow Dark Knight Entertainment on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to watch Dark Knight Entertainment TV anytime. And for more info, log on to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.